The International Monetary Fund has projected Nigerian economy will rise to at least $1.85 trillion in purchasing power parity terms by 2029. The PPP is a metric used to compare the value of different currencies and their ability to buy the same thing. It is used to comparing economic productivity and standards of living between countries. Welcome to Business Point. It's a program that extracts the Nigerian economy and the government policies. I am Kike Lomo Okere. Today we'll be looking at Nigeria economy, IMF prediction on Nigeria economy to hit $1.8 trillion. The prediction by the Washington-based institution suggests a significant growth trajectory for Nigeria economy over the next 5 years. According to data compiled by the International Monetary Fund, Nigeria gross domestic in purchasing power parity terms has been on the increase and is projected to rise from $1.44 trillion in 2024 to $1.85 trillion in 2029. In 2025, the country's gross domestic product in purchasing power parity terms is projected to stand at $1.52 trillion, an increase to $1.58 trillion in 2026. The International Monetary Fund projected the growth will continue in 2027 to $1.67 trillion and $1.75 trillion in 2028. The data shows a consistent growth trend, with a notable increase of 5.5% expected in 2029. IMF also forecasted Nigeria's share of global GDP based on PPP to reach 0.78% by 2029. This represents a slight increase from 0.77% in 2023, indicating steady growth trajectory for the country's economy. Nigerian purchasing power parity has declined due to high cost of living and soaring inflation. The inflation rate has been on the upward trend, rising from 22.41% in May 2023 to 33.69% in April 2024, while food inflation has climbed to 40.53% from 24.82% within the same period. In 2025, the country's gross domestic product in purchasing power parity terms is projected to stand at $1.52 trillion, an increase to $1.58 trillion in 2026. IMF projected the growth will continue in 2027 to $1.7 trillion and $1.75 trillion in 2028. The data shows a consistent growth trend with a notable increase of 5.5% expected in 2025. IMF also forecasted Nigeria's share of global GDP based on PPP to reach 0.78% by 2029. Let's take a quick short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Hello and welcome to Business Reports on Global Morning. The euro slid against the naira in the official market on Monday after French President Emmanuel Macron called a snap election following a defeat in the European Union vote by the far right. Recent price action revealed that the euro is now losing major support against the naira currency, leading to euro versus naira price to lean bearish. Growing ambiguity surrounding the upcoming French snap election is affecting the euro. The naira strengthened below 1,600 naira to euro level in the black market as traders reevaluate and moderate demand pressure on the euro currency. It closed above 1,631 naira to euro on Friday. The dollar also shows strength against the euro currency due to the geopolitical implication of the far-right grip on power in euro. Additionally, the dollar outlook is favorable as summer draws near. The euro is predicted to break above 1.10 against the dollar and is more likely to drop below 1.05 support level. The euro plummeted to a 21-month low of $1.05 in early morning London trading and dropped 50 basis points to a one-month low. Geregu Power plc has forecasted a profit after tax of 9.9 billion naira for the third quarter of 2024, representing a 148% year-on-year increase from the 3.98 billion naira net income posted in the third quarter of 2023. According to the company's cash flow forecast for third quarter 2024, it is projecting a revenue of 42.5 billion naira during the quarter, representing a 102% year-on-year growth from the 21.05 billion naira revenue posted the third quarter of 2023. This projected revenue growth stemmed from an anticipated cash receipt of 15.8 billion naira from the energy and capacity charges during the quarter. For proper context, throughout 2023, the company posted a total receipt of 31.1 billion naira from capacity charges. The company anticipates a 101% year-on-year increase in cost of sales to 21.9 billion naira from 10.3 billion naira in the third quarter of 2023. For Geregu Power, the major contributor to its cost of sales is LNG supply and transportation. The value of Nigerian crude oil export earnings increased by 50.2% in the first quarter of 2024 to 15.4 trillion naira, according to data from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. The earning quoted in naira showed a rise from 10.3 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2023 to 15.4 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2024. During the same period, the data highlighted that 88% of Nigerians' exports to other nations were earning from crude oil, emphasizing once again the predominant role of oil as the primary exported commodity and main source of foreign exchange for the country. Furthermore, in 1 year, the value of crude oil export surged by 200.79% from 5.1 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2023. The total exports of Nigeria in the first quarter of 2024 rose by 51% to 19.1 trillion naira compared to the 12.6 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2023. On a year-to-year basis, the total export increased by 95.47% from 6.4 trillion naira. The oil sector, the major contributor to the Nigerian total export, made up 88% of the total export. Crude oil exports were valued at 15.4 trillion naira, while non-oil exports were valued at 3.6 trillion naira. However, the non-oil commodities were valued at 1.7 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2024. The data also shows a slight improvement in the naira value of the total non-oil export from 1.09 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2023 to 1.7 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2024. The Central Bank of Nigeria has reassured members of the banking public of the safety of their deposits and the banking system resilience. This is coming on the heels of the claims in the certain quarters about the stability of some banks in the wake of Heritage Bank PLC license revocation. Contrary to some claims, the bank's acting director of Corporate Communication Department, Hakama Sidi Ali, in a statement faulted claims that the CBN was considering revoking the operating license of Fidelity, Polaris, Wema and Unity Bank. She also clarified that a circular issued by the bank on January 10, 2024, notifying the public about the dissolution of the Board of Union, Keystone and Polaris Bank is currently being circulated as though it was issued on June 10, 2024. In a chat with newsmen, Sidi Ali emphasized that Heritage Bank case was isolated, adding that allegation of further revocation of license prior to completion of the bank recapitalization exercise were mere fabrication aimed at creating panic within the system. She said customers, particularly those of Heritage Bank, need not to worry about the safety of their deposits, adding that the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation had commenced payment to the bank's issued operators. The Apex Bank therefore urged the public to continue their regular banking activities without concern, dismissing any false reports regarding the health of the specific deposit money bank. She confirmed that the CBN, with its robust regulatory framework, is proactively ensuring the stability of Nigerian financial system, thereby guaranteeing the safety of depositors' funds in all Nigerian financial institutions, while reiterating the assurance of the Governor Olayemi Cardoso that the recapitalization of Bank in Nigeria was intended to bolster the banking system and safeguard the sector against risk. Sidi Ali also urged all stakeholders to cooperate in ensuring the success of the process, which she noted will be for the overall growth of the Nigerian economy. Customers are therefore encouraged to proceed with their transaction as usual, as the CBN is committed to ensuring the safety of the banking system. Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business Point, where we extract the Nigerian economy and the government's policies. Let's generate a conversation on Nigerian economy, the IMF prediction on Nigerian economy to hit $1.8 trillion. With me in the studio is Rabiu Hassan, an economist and chief investment partner, Positive Market Investment Partner, a private equity and venture capital firm. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Right.
Sir, how does this IMF prediction for Nigeria economy compare to its current share of global GDP?
Oh. Good morning, listeners. And I think the World Bank traditionally been like the global bank for nations, usually have a very robust team of economists that look at every bit and pieces of the various nations, the economy of nations, and usually analyze and keep in view most of the trends that actually happen. And a lot of times you would notice that most of the predictions of the World Bank are highly likely to be nearest to the actual than some of the predictions that nations do for themselves. The reason being that there seems some more rigorous analysis and then more objectivity in the analysis, and that is why most of the forecasts of the World Bank are usually nearest to the actual realities. And so for that matter, the predictions of the World Bank going to 2029 seems to be suggesting that the Nigerian economy might, on GDP terms only, might reach a threshold of 1 trillion plus. Yes, it's a very positive prediction, and it equally meets into the aspiration of the present government's plan to grow the Nigerian economy to that rate and to that size, such that Nigerian economy would now be amongst the biggest 25 economies in the world. That's a very wonderful and very insightful plan.
But in your own opinion, what do you think are the potentials of challenges facing Nigerian economy in achieving this predicted growth?
Yeah. Well, I think a bit of Nigerian history can give us some very strong perspective as to whether these kind of plans, robust plans, are achievable or they are realistic. Now, from 1960 until 2022, the Nigerian economy has grown at an average of about $162 billion average, average annual growth. What I mean by the average is like if you take what was our growth rate, what was our GDP from 1961 to 2022, I mean, you add all the sizes of the economy, and then you divide it by the number of years between 1961 up till now. It gives you about the value of about $162 billion. And that suggests for an optimist economist like me, somebody that is very optimistic, if I project that this trend is going to continue from 1960 till date, and I predict it's going to continue from 1960 to 2029, which is just 5 years away, I would not see the Nigerian economy growing to $1 trillion economy. But having plans, having robust plans is one of the things that everybody would want to have for himself. Nigeria is not excluded. In the next 5 years, given for example, I want to look at some of the very fundamental matters that makes an economy grow, and then at such pace that it can be able to attain that growth projection it is anticipating. And I think that will give us the best of an objective assessment of what it will take. Now, 2029 is just 5 years from now.
Yeah.
But we have thus grown the economy to about 400 plus minus $1 billion economy. Now, you would also note that the structure of the Nigerian economy, that means to say the kind of structure of the economy. I mean, in terms of what are the key pillars that drive growth in the economy. You're looking at the sectoral contribution to the gross domestic product. I mean, what contribution does the agri sector contribute to the economy? How much in value, in naira terms, probably, or in dollar terms, the telecoms and ICT, the oil and gas, and services, you understand me? Those are the three key pillars, three key sectors of the economy that drives growth in the economy. And so when we look at their performance vis-a-vis their potentials, we would definitely note that these sectors are not actually contributing optimally. What I mean by optimality is, in this case, it's like you have a machine, for example, that can produce 100 cartons of biscuits per annum.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that same machine is contributing only 30 cartons. It's only producing 30 cartons annually. I think that is the simplest example I can give. The Nigerian economy, we take it as a machine that is, a Nigerian economy in this case means the human beings, the people, the natural resources, and all the resources we have put together.
All right, before we go, sir, how will, in summary, how will this predicted growth impact the standard of living in Nigeria?
Now, that is one of the biggest challenges that development economists have always been looking at. The growth of the economy is one thing, but the capacity of the leadership and governance to transmit that growth into the lives of people, I think that remain one of the most challenging components of our economic management. The size of the economy, given what it is at the moment, seems to be sufficient enough to translate into the lives of people positively. But unfortunately, most developing countries are suffering from this thing. The quality of life, life expectancy, some of the things that you anticipate an average Nigerian should have. I mean, cheap foods, for example, which is one of the most important things that bother people now. And then quality health, quality education, access to health, good health system, affordability is very important. And I mean, you add energy, for example. I mean, we're running on NEPA, on generators now. So some of those basic things that the economy should transmit, the size of the rate of growth or the size of the economy should transmit directly to the lives of people. I think we've done very bad in this area.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate your coming on the show. All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Rabiu Hassan, an economist and chief investment partner, Positive Market Investment Partner, a private equity and venture capital firm. All right, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on Business Point today. Join me again tomorrow for an interesting topic on Global Television, channel 276 on Star Time. You can also follow us on all our social media handles at Global TV NG and website globaltvabuja.com. Till I come your way again, I am Kike Lomo Okeri. I celebrate you all.